Good evening. This is Nick from Black Sheep Radio. I'm your host. Tonight is Thursday, August 28th. We have a guest by the name of Stewart Swerdlow on tonight, and he's got a very interesting story and a lot of information to share. We're not going to have too many people call in tonight. He does only have an hour since he did make it back from a long trip that he just came back from. Stewart, can you say hi to everybody?
Yes, hi everyone. Glad to talk to you.
Now, Stewart, I wanted to first talk about your experience with Mountauk and what is Mountauk and what was your involvement with Mountauk?
Well, Mountauk project was from 1970 to 1983. It was involving genetic manipulation, time travel experimentation, electromagnetic weaponry, and various other sorts of Tesla-based equipment experimentation. And I was taken into that experiment at a young age, basically because of my family history. My great-uncle was the first president of the Soviet Union, and my grandfather was sent to the United States in order to form the Communist Party here and entice people to go back to the Soviet Union. And my grandmother was a Soviet spy during World War II. So because of that background, my family's loyalty to the United States was always questioned. And so I was taken in for service at a very young age into this project. The point that they wanted to make, or the test they were doing with me, was to try to create a person who could see into other realities without the use of a device. And unfortunately, the side effect for me at the time was that I became physically blind. They rewired the way my brain perceived reality so that I could only see energy fields. And so physically I could not see physical reality for about 29 years. And then in December of 1999, I had a surgery to reconnect the way my optic nerves perceive reality. And when they took the bandages off, I actually had another layer of physical sight added on top of the energetic sight that I had for so long.
So there were more people involved in these experiments than yourself. Do you still have any contact with any of these people?
Well, not really. I mean, over the years, over those 13 years, it's estimated there was as much as 250,000 people used during that time period. And over the years subsequent to the ending in 1983, I have had contact with people like Duncan Cameron and Preston Nichols, etc., Al Bielek, but we've kind of drifted apart as time goes by.
Okay. Now, some of these experiments, were they drug-induced?
Some were drug-induced, some were electromagnetically induced. They had a large part of the program that was dedicated to mind control and programming individuals as well as vast groups of people. And as an outgrowth of what happened at Mountauk, such drugs as Prozac were developed, Ritalin. These were all outgrowths of what happened at Mountauk, and they were actually able to take the resonant frequency of these drugs and broadcast them from satellites and cell towers, etc., so that you could just have the effects of these medications without taking them.
Do you feel that any of these theories about chemtrails have anything to do with mind control, what they're putting into the atmosphere?
Well, the chemtrails per se are not exactly mind control. It's not a mind control tool. That was basically designed to alter genetics and to change the morphogenetic grid of the Earth. That was how it started. What's going on in the last couple of years is that these chemtrails are being used to create a filament or a kind of a very specialized network of material in the ionosphere to create a net or a web around the Earth that can be used ultimately for controlling grids on the planet for mind control and other purposes.
That makes perfect sense. It seems more so not only to change genetics for the most part, but to have this web, like you said, to have this kind of connection with electronic magnet fields. It's a way to produce a connectivity throughout the atmosphere with frequencies. Is that correct?
Yes, that's true. And, every thought, every word in every language has been filtered down to a specific frequency so that the government can broadcast the frequency of entire sets of instructions in any language using these frequency resonances aimed at any individual city or country, and the people in those places believe that that's their own thought, and then they act upon them.
Now, I've got a guest in the chat room asking about HAARP. How is this connected?
It's very connected. HAARP, is that large array in Alaska, but what people don't understand is that there are many other sister projects to it, especially one in northern Norway, and my understanding is that there are 11 others strategically located around the planet that work in tandem with each other and help to create energy fields in the ionosphere. They can also be used to concentrate electromagnetic pulses so that they can create earthquakes, tornadoes, any kind of storm, drought, weather conditions, whatever is necessary or needed by those who are in power. The HAARP project, along with its other projects, can generate these events.
So HAARP could actually create the solution of what they want, which could be like a famine, possibly?
Oh, absolutely, and that's what they're doing, especially in Africa, where they're trying to eliminate the black race. They're doing this with creating drought, famine, putting disease in of all kinds, creating warfare, whatever methods that they can use to eliminate the people there. Certainly, they're doing this in the United States as well, creating large drought areas. Basically, if they control the food and they can control the prices of utilities, then that puts people in a precarious situation where they need to listen to the government or those in charge in order to get their basic needs met.
So now this whole global warming controversy, what do you make of this?
Well, there is no global warming. In fact, quite the opposite is true. In fact, I wrote about that in my website, and I have put that in my newsletter and talked about it. The Earth is actually cooling. And in fact, we are in a period of time where there is a diminished sunspot activity, and whenever that has happened in the past, the Earth has cooled down, and there is an expectation over the next 50 years that the Earth will probably cool 2 or 3 degrees, which will create a little mini ice age. In fact, this coming winter, it's predicted that it should be one of the most severe winters across most of North America.
Absolutely. I noticed that this summer has been actually generally cool compared to most summers. So
yeah, it has not been hot. This past season, it snowed in Cape Town, South Africa. It snowed in Buenos Aires. It snowed in Baghdad, places where it never snows. So if there was global warming and the planet was heating up, that would not be possible.
Now, we've got another question in the chat room. Is this a black thing or a population thing?
Can you define black thing?
Meaning when they're depopulating the black race. I mean, I could answer this, but I'll allow you to answer this.
Well, they're basically trying to eliminate any hard-to-control or unprogrammable race, or any native peoples who have a connection to the non-physical or spiritual side in a more powerful way than those who don't. As far as the mind control and programming is concerned, and this is in many of my books, they had discovered long time ago that people who were blonde hair, blue eyes, red hair, green eyes have an enzyme in their DNA that allows for programming to take hold much more easily. They had a very big difficulty over the decades in trying to mind control and program darker-skinned people. So whenever they had this problem, they decided to eliminate the ones that couldn't be programmed. Another thing that they have done is mixed races, in other words, mixed